Hello and welcome to Dragonfly Intuitive Connections. I'm your host, JoJo Dennis. I'm here with the mystical Cheryl Fern.
Hi.
So, what do you have for us today, Cheryl? What are we going to discuss?
So I've noticed that during a lot of my readings that a lot of people don't understand the death process and have a lot of questions of it. So I thought that I would talk about the death process, and then Jojo has questions also that are certainly related to it. So when we pass away, everyone goes through a life review. Okay, which consists of everything that we've gone through in our lives, every mistakes we've ever made, every arguments we've ever had with anybody, things that just are kind of questionable. And we kind of go through a process of deciding whether or not to accept the truth. This is our time of learning the truth of everything in life, and you have the choice to decide. You decide to accept the truth as you're learning the truth of everything, your part of everything that you've done, the truth of and everyone else's part of everything that they've ever done to you. So, in order to go forward in eternity, to be able to contact your loved ones, to be able to go in onto another life if that's what soul is needed, you have to accept the truth. You have to come to terms with all of the things that you have done. If not, you're stuck in purgatory. Okay? So, in a sense, purgatory can be hell. There is no hell, is what most people believe. There is no devil. So, purgatory really is when you do not accept those items in your life, those events, those things, those arguments, those things that you've done in your life that you will not accept the truth of. And so you're stuck in purgatory, reliving it and reliving it and reliving it and reliving it until you've come to terms with it and you've decided to accept the truth, accept your part of it, and then you can then go forward. And that means absolutely everything that you have done. Because if you don't learn the truth, if you don't accept your part, if you don't believe everything that you've done, the wrongs that you have done, you sit in purgatory for however long it takes for you to go through it over and over again. So, in a sense, that is your hell. So, hell is created by yourself because you aren't willing to accept and figure out what your wrongs were, and you'll have help. There's, you're not by yourself when you're going through this life review, because everything, it's almost like a videotape of everything that you've ever done in your life, everything, over and over and over again. Does anybody want to do that? I don't think so. So now, in this with this information, you have a choice in your life now, is a physical person, physical being on this earth, to make right now for the wrongs that you have done. We've all done wrongs. There isn't a perfect person around. We've all done wrongs. So now is your opportunities to start making rights and to think about what those items that you're doing and the choices that you're making right now and how it affects other people in your life, and be able to, go through this life as peaceful as, you know, making peace with people rather than making enemies, or, making upsetting people and making waves to people. It really doesn't make sense. So, think about that, make peace, love people, and go forward in positive ways. The more you have positive, the more positive you put out in the world, the more positive you get back. If you're putting out negative, you're going to get negative back. More positivity, and you're going to have a lot less to go through too when you do pass. and your transition will go so much smoother.
Well, thank you for that information, Cheryl. And as you were speaking, I actually came up with a question. So would you like to hear the question?
Certainly.
So, a lot of times on the TV crime shows or any TV show or movie, we have a spirit that's trying to communicate something. And a lot of times it's because they've done it wrong. Is that an example of the purgatory that you were speaking of?
It's not. So that means that they have gone through their life review, they've accepted their wrongs, and they want to now contact you and talk with you about what that situation is. That happens a lot, that people have spirit wanting to connect with them to apologize, to talk with them about what the situation is. It's their way to kind of clear the air and to make sure that you understand what the situation and knowing what what their part was. I've had many readings before where that kind of has happened, and the person that comes through is not the person wants to talk to. I'm sorry, or wants to hear from, but it always ends up with things resolved properly for the person that is on this earth right now. So it is a very good thing. So that person, that spirit is not in purgatory. They've gone through their life review, they've accepted their wrongs, and have learned the truth of the whole situation.
That is a great answer. So, Cheryl, I have another question for you. How would I know when my past loved one is around me and visiting me? How would I know that?
So first of all, you know if someone is trying to contact you, you know that they have gone through their life review and they're ready to go forward. If they haven't, they can't contact you. Okay, so that's one thing. So you'll know by feeling them, sensing them. Sometimes we see them, sometimes we see shadows, sometimes we just feel vibrations. Do you ever get the feeling that someone is watching you, that there's just eyes on you, but there's no one around? So quite often it's spirit. So sometimes it's, quite often it's just contacting you, wanting to talk with you.
Okay, that was another great answer.
Sometimes it's by signs that they're giving you,
And
which
I
we'll
get a
talk
lot of
about that a little
signs.
bit.
So, question number 2. Will my past loved one send me a sign, and how will I recognize them?
So once our lost loved ones know that we're open to receive signs, and they know that we will not be afraid about the signs that they are going to give us, they're going to randomly send signs that are going to be things that are going to remind us of them, that we won't have a question as to who they are from. So things that were very dear to them. It could be items that were lost will all of a sudden be found. It could be specific flowers that they love. It could be specific colors of things that they love, balloons, very random, that you would not expect and would not see in just ordinary day.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's great. So I have another question, and I have like 2 more, so bear with me. Did my loved one know or was aware that I was present as they were passing?
Yes. Spirit always knows who's by their side when they're passing. They're very much aware, and actually, after a soul leaves a body, the brain still is alive for a period of time. And so that's one thing. So that's why they always will say to you, be careful what you say to a person that has passed away. Because, two, the brain is still functioning a little bit, for one thing. So there's still a period of time where there's a hearing. Then the other thing is quite often soul leaves the body but sits outside of it and pays attention to what's going on. So what's happening in that case is soul is protecting that body to make sure that no harm is happening with this body.
Oh, wow.
After all, the body is the container that the soul lived in for a long time.
Yes. So the next question is, how can I initiate communication with my past loved ones?
So you can make sure that you're very open for the situation. Make sure that you're very open for communication. Not be afraid of seeing them or hearing things, or because things may fall off the wall. You might hear something drop in your home. You might just start seeing signs of things that you know are theirs, or just seeing even movements and things in your home or around you, feeling them, subtle touches, things like that. Don't be afraid of them, because spirit will never harm you and is never out to scare you. And if they think that you scare them, that they scare you, they will not come around. So be very open, very, very calm, and then start talking with them. You can literally start talking to them as if they're standing right next to you. You can reach out to hold their hand and be very open. So talk to them. Thank them for coming around. Thank you for the signs. All of those kind of things. They know. They know. They hear you. They see you. They know everything that you are doing.
Wonderful. So my final question is, how is my loved one feeling now that they are a spirit?
You know how? Okay. So utopia. Utopia for everyone is different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that spirit life, I shouldn't say spirit life because it's not a life, but in a sense, it's a dementia. It's a dimension.
The spiritual realm.
Yes. So, but it's different for everybody, just like utopia is different for everybody. So, whatever you imagine as beautiful, peaceful, calm, relaxed, is going to be your afterlife. Because there's no pain, there's no time, there's no restrictions. It's just pure freedom, and there's just nothing to be afraid of. There's no harm. It's just something for all of us actually to look forward to. So a lot of people get afraid because they're so afraid of leaving their loved ones. You're never going to leave your loved ones. You're always going to be with your loved ones. So even in the afterlife, when spirit is reborn to go on to the soul's next lessons, which I have another little piece to say about that, they're still with us. They're still with here, because spirit has that magic to be able in different places at the same time, to be reborn into another life, but yet still be here with their loved ones here, because that's just the magic of spirit, because it's an energy. So just as we're energy, so is spirit. It's just a different form. So it's just a different dimension. And so it's just a beautiful thing. Okay. So, and spirit, soul, which is who we are.
Look at the bird. Wow. Isn't that interesting?
Gets reborn into another body as many times as your soul has lessons to learn. So when a woman gets pregnant, soul will go into fetus, take a look around at things, and it may take a couple of months. It may be instant. It may be, don't know how long it takes for soul to try to decide whether or not, if this situation of when this fetus will be born is going to be the right soul lessons. So in some situations, not all, soul goes into the fetus, takes a look around, and decides okay, yes, this will be appropriate for my next lessons.
Mm.
Or it takes a look around and it says,
No
it
way.
is not. And exits and the woman miscarries. But that isn't, don't think that that's every miscarriage, because sometimes there is medical reasons why miscarriage happens. You know, that sometimes that just isn't viable. There's something wrong with the fetus. There's, you know, something wrong with mom's body. But quite often it's soul. It's soul choice. So, you know, keep those kind of things in mind too, that also that, you know, if you've had a miscarriage, it isn't necessarily something is wrong with you. So look at the beauty of soul, the beauty of spirit, and also keep in mind that when someone passes away, the only thing that passes away is the physical body. The soul does not, which is who we are. We are soul. We are spirit. We are energy. We never die.
And there you have it. I also have another question for you, Cheryl. Now, how does a spirit or a soul recognizes itself in that state? Like when they're transitioning, are they aware that they are leaving the physical and returning to the energy?
Well, soul knows what as soul is going, you know, as the spirit is going through its life review, and it has a period of time to reviews of what what the lessons are and what the next lessons are. So they know what the next lessons are, or how many more lessons they have. And so they know when they'll start going to look at fetuses to go into, is this going to be the right situation? Is it not going to be the right situation? So, you know, that's how that soul choice works. I was going to say something else and my mind just completely went blank on it.
Oh, wow. Well, I have another question. Tonight is a full moon. And what do you know about that? Because it's a Scorpio moon.
Well,
and you're a Scorpio.
So, you know, this is a good night for to do manifestations of transitions and letting go of anything that you need to let go of and bringing in new. Well, okay. And so I'm trying to get back the other comment that I had to say about the death process.
Do, 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 do. It's like we're on Jeopardy. So while Cheryl gets her thoughts together, I would just like to say that I believe in spirit. And I have had interactions with spirit. Spirit. My mom is one of them. And thank you, God, because I know she would never leave me. Just so you know. She hears,
What do you have to do with us talking about the...
Cheryl's still trying to.
I can't think of it right
gather
now.
Her thoughts.
If I can't think of it. I can't think of it. So our next two videos. Okay, so June 11th is the next full moon. So the next two videos will be regarding moon water. So the next video, which would be in 2 weeks, which is May 26th, which is Memorial Day. So I don't think we'll be doing it on Monday.
The 27th probably will work better.
So we'll probably do it on Tuesday, the 27th. So that I'll be talking about, we'll discuss moon water, the importance of moon water, and what to do to explain what the next moon water is the new full moon is going to be about.
If I may just interject for 1 second, Cheryl, what exactly is moon water?
So moon water is water that you set up to be out being charged in the full moon. I'll explain all of that on the 27th. I'll explain to you all of the details about moon water, the importance of it, what you need to have for supplies. Then the full moon on June 11th is a Wednesday. So that video will be done on Wednesday. June
asking
11th.
for confirmation.
On
Yes,
that,
Cheryl, I got you.
On that day, I will then, and the next one I will show you the supplies you're going to get. Have all your supplies prepared. If you want to know how to do the moon water, we will prepare the moon water on June 11th. We'll talk about it a little bit more. If you have questions on moon water, please submit them to me at Dragonfly Intuitive Connections. At hotmail.com. I had to think about where I wanted to send it. So Dragonfly Intuitive Connections at hotmail.com. And I will answer any of the questions that you have about moon water, but we'll prepare the moon water on June 11th and explain to you about putting it out to the water, out to under the moon to be charged. So those are the next two videos, March 27th and June 11th.
You said March 27th.
I mean,
April.
May.
I said April.
Hey, we're people. We're
May
human.
27th and June the 11th, and we are live. So there you have it.
We do have fun with these videos.
So, let me see. Cheryl, would you like to say anything further before we end this video?
I don't think so. I know that my thoughts had to do with what to do about I don't know. I can't. My mind's fried. I have a migraine, and I'm about to think.
Well, maybe it'll come back to it on the next episode. So, on this wonderful, marvelous, magical, magnificent Monday.
If it comes to me, I will write it down, and we'll talk about it on the 27th. May 27th, that is. May.
May 27th. We will shoot probably at 6 p.m. as usual. Right?
What? I'm sorry.
I said we usually shoot at 6 p.m.
Yes.
Go live.
Yes, 6:30. We try to shoot. And hopefully we'll be able to still do it here at the lake.
Where it's nice. We're at the lake.
We need to prepare ahead of time for a more beautiful place than where we are right now.
We got to figure it out.
There's just so many people here at the lake that
it's
hard to find a place. And I like to have the lake on the background, but that didn't work out tonight.
Well, that's
actually our tree that we filmed at 2 weeks ago is underwater. The area that we sat at 2 weeks ago is underwater, so we could not use that spot today. Thank God. I love that tree because I love trees. Yes. That's me.
We done now?
Yes.
All right, over and out. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget.
Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. I love you. Bye.